Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. My name's Grant with Bridgeway Solutions, and I'm just going to give you a brief, sort of 30,000 foot overview today of the ScholarChip One Card solution. Just a bit about our timeline. We have 30 minutes allotted for the webinar. I plan to speak for about 20 minutes, leaving us about 10 minutes for questions and open discussion. So just to start off, a bit of background on ScholarChip and Bridgeway. ScholarChip is a company based out of Hicksville, New York. They're the nation's leading provider of school safety and operations systems, as well as automated attendance solutions, a pioneer in automated attendance solutions. So hundreds of thousands of kids every day use their Smart ID from ScholarChip to take attendance, with over 750,000 Smart IDs issued throughout the nation. So the solution is completely modular. All the components we'll be examining today can stand on their own or operate in tandem, with a few exceptions, which we'll discuss. Bridgeway is the Southeast's leading provider of identification management solutions. We offer premier on-site service and support, and we're ScholarChip's integration partner throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So we're helping to drive the adoption of the ScholarChip solution throughout the Southeast. So obviously an automated attendance solution would be of no value to any school if it didn't integrate with a student information system. So throughout our states, the two primary student information systems are PowerSchool and Infinite Campus, with a few exceptions, of course. But ScholarChip is a partner with Pearson, who's the developer of PowerSchool, as well as Infinite Campus. So we support full bidirectional integration with those student information systems. So we pull student demographics down from PowerSchool, and we push our attendance data back up. So as a totally cloud-hosted solution, data security is very important to us. So on the right-hand side there, those are just a few of the data security standards that ScholarChip meets. If for interested parties, I can provide a several hundred-page PDF document detailing data security standards and audit practices. So the best way to take a look at the ScholarChip solution from an overview standpoint is to take a look at a day in the life of a ScholarChip school. So for this demonstration, we'll look at Bridgeway High School. So Bridgeway High School is a ScholarChip-enabled school. They're using most all of ScholarChip's services, and we'll walk through those one by one. So as most things ScholarChip, it all starts with a Smart ID. So these Smart IDs use the Open MyFair standard. So this is an open and secure contactless smart card standard. You might be familiar with it through physical access control systems. It acts as a key to the student's attendance throughout the day. So it doesn't store any personal information. The card itself just contains a number that references back into the ScholarChip database. So students and staff are both issued these IDs using ScholarChip's ID Manager hardware, which actually allows you to do photo capture and card printing. So this key to students' attendance starts first thing in the morning at the bus stop. So here, students tap their cards on a reader as they enter a bus. The solution is integrated with a whole host of bus routing softwares and route planning softwares. So student routes, students' route plans, all of that's pulled down through the integration. And as students board the bus, their cards are tapped on the reader, and that identifies whether they're on the correct route, whether or not they're getting on the wrong bus. Likewise, the student taps their cards disembarking the bus, not only letting you know that all the students who got on the bus got off, but that the students are getting off at the correct stop. So you can see in the image on the right, the screen there shows the bus driver's view. The student's photo is presented there as a means of visual verification, and then the green border around that indicates that the student does not have any active exceptions. So they got off or on at the right stop. They don't have any active suspensions or any other alerts in the ScholarChip system. So the system also records GPS coordinates with each card tap. So the GPS coordinates are recorded at each card tap, and that information is then sent back up to the cloud. The data can be sent back up in real time if there is an active mobile internet connection on the bus through a wireless internet connection or similar, or the data can be cached until buses return to a bus depot or to a school where there's Wi-Fi coverage, and then the data can be uploaded from there. So as students enter the building, they tap their cards on a building attendance kiosk. So this device you can see on the right here, typically a few of those placed around at multiple entrances through a school, perhaps one at a bus entrance, one at an entrance for car riders, drop-off. So the two readers are embedded in this device. You can see areas for photos on the left and right of that screen. That's actually the operator side of the kiosk, meant to be manned by a teacher on duty. The other side is where the readers are embedded. As students pass through, it forms two natural lanes of traffic so that we can process up to about 40 students per minute through each kiosk. So the building attendance kiosk does three important things for us. First, it gives us a real indication, or a real-time indication, of what students are on campus. So if you think about your current attendance landscape, if at any moment you needed to know exactly what students were in the building for an emergency situation, an evacuation, or similar, you're relying primarily on teacher attendance data. And as we know, teachers aren't always the most prompt stewards of attendance. So attendance data, especially at the start of a period, might be incomplete, or if it's been taken, certainly might not be entered into PowerSchool. So by checking every student in as they come through the doors, we know exactly who's in the building, and that's available to you at the click of a button. So the second important point of taking building attendance is that you receive alerts for suspensions, active discipline events, active alerts, miscellaneous alerts, things like that. So because we're integrated with the student information system, we obviously know when a student is suspended. So if that student then tries to enter the building and they tap their card on a kiosk, that's going to result in an alert and a sound that will alert the operator that the student is suspended and is still trying to get in the building. Similarly, we support student-specific messaging. So any user with an administrative account can log in to the web management portal and create an alert for a specific student. So that alert could be something like, go see Mr. Jones in guidance to sign forms. So when the student checks in the next morning, he'll be alerted of that particular message. So it's a way to message specifically to students. And the last and perhaps most important function of the kiosk is it manages late arrivals. So typically we won't see schools leaving these kiosks in the hallway throughout the morning, but one of them will typically be designated to be moved to an attendance office, a principal's office, front office, wherever students are forced to check in arriving late. Here students will tap their cards on the reader as normal, but because of the time, the kiosk automatically knows that the students are late. It processes them as late, sends that info up to PowerSchool, as well as prints a paper late pass. that acts as their late pass to get into class. So, speaking of class, as students head into the classroom, we begin to take classroom attendance. So this is a web-based portal that allows teachers to log into a website, which you see a screen capture of here on the left. A USB reader is connected to the teacher's computer. So students tap their cards on this reader, and that automatically changes their attendance status. So as you're aware, student information systems, excuse me, their attendance by default, everyone is present until teachers mark a particular student as absent. When the period begins with a ScholarChip attendance solution, everyone is marked absent until they tap their card and change their status to present. So this does a couple of important things. Obviously, relieving the teacher from having to take roll and then enter that data manually into PowerSchool. This frees up to about 5 minutes of instructional time per period, so letting teachers teach more expeditiously. In addition, it shifts the responsibility of the attendance to the student. So now, as opposed to having their heads counted in a roll, they're responsible for proving their own attendance. So if you look at the screen capture on the left, you'll notice that immediately to the left of the present, late, or absent designation, there's a green square. That green square indicates that the student had checked in on a building attendance kiosk in the morning. So what this is able to do is give us a clear and accurate way of defining class cuts. So if you look at the upper left-hand student, Anderson, she is absent from this class period, but the green box indicates that she checked in the morning on a building attendance kiosk. So this lets the teacher know that the student is in the building somewhere, but not in their classroom. We can also alert for this automatically. So class cuts can generate automatic alerts that notify administration or hallway monitors or whomever. So we extend that attendance to other points throughout the school. So at any place where a student has a legitimate purpose to be, the nurse's office, principal's office, etc., we can place the same sort of USB reader there. So as students come in to see the nurse, they tap on that reader, and it lets immediately through the ScholarChip system, it lets all users know that that student is checked into the nurse's office. So if we back up one slide here, there aren't any examples on this particular screenshot. But just like there's a green square designating presence or absence for building attendance, a square on the right-hand side of that of the present designation or absent designation could indicate that they were in fact present at a nurse's office or another ancillary location, and so the teacher could hover their mouse over that student, and it would show that the student is checked into the nurse's office, so that when they return back to class, it's an excused tardy. So as the day goes on, students head toward the cafeteria for lunch. So here, the same attendance kiosk that was used to capture building attendance can be wheeled into the cafeteria to capture attendance there. So students can tap their cards on the kiosk being manned by a teacher on lunch duty. And because we're integrated with the SIS, we know lunch schedules. So we know if a student is trying to attend a different lunch period than they're scheduled for. And so similar to suspensions or other sorts of alerts, it will alert the operator to that. Similarly, the kiosk can be used anywhere you need to process large numbers of students. So assemblies, pep rallies, any place where you want to be able to take student attendance in large quantities. So a little bit further on into the cafeteria, ScholarChip does have a comprehensive point of sale solution. So it's a smart ID based point of sale. So as opposed to using barcodes or a lunch number, students simply tap their smart ID on the point of sale system and check out. So it includes a payment portal for parents, web-based payment portal where they can log in, add money to their student's account, as well as pay any other dues or debts that are owed the school. In addition, the point of sale solution includes a platform for free and reduced lunch processing. So free and reduced lunch application processing is included with the point of sale solution. So we can take attendance anywhere throughout the school through use of mobile devices. So an NFC-enabled mobile device can read the smart ID just by holding that ID up to the back of the device. iOS and Apple devices don't have native support for NFC, which means that while the applications still run on iOS, they can in fact read the actual smart card. So it's a manual search process. But in the case of Android, typically Android tablets, they can read the cards just through near-field communication, NFC. So using the mobile kiosk application, we can capture attendance anywhere where you need to be able to account for students. So on a field trip, for example, or to record attendance at an after-school club or a band function. Anywhere you need to be able to account for a group of students. Similarly, we have a hallway monitoring application. So that application, again, runs on NFC-enabled devices. It allows administrators to look up a student's ID and pull up their schedule data as well as attendance history. So they can see both where a student is supposed to be and where they last checked in. In addition, it shows recent discipline events and lets the administrator create alerts and summons directly from the app. So the last component of the ScholarChip solution I'd like to touch on is visitor management. So visitor management is a solution that most schools have adopted, but what makes ScholarChip's platform different is that it was built expressly for K-12. So because we integrate with student information systems, we're able to manage student pickup. So a parent or other approved guardian that's coming to pick up a student, by scanning their driver's license and referencing that against the student, we can actually look that up against PowerSchool's list of approved guardians to determine whether they're authorized to pick up the student. The student pickup function also goes ahead and processes an early dismissal so that the students are marked with an excused absence for the rest of the day's periods. Visitor management solutions will often tout some form of national sex offender registry checking. In reality, there is no such thing as a national sex offender registry. It's a 50-state patchwork of different data. ScholarChip from the beginning decided that this was not a viable solution when student safety was on the line. So they actually hired their own team to curate all of these disparate databases and collect that all into one place. So that really results in really one of the most accurate and complete sex offender searches on the market. So we're right at the 20-minute mark of my jabbering. So I'd just like to, at this point, thank everyone again for their time and open the floor up to discussions.